The survival genre always gives you the chance to write your own story, and while you're fighting to stay alive, you create unforgettable memories along the way. In this video, I'm going to show you 20 survival games you absolutely need to play. If you're ready, let's not waste any time. Ark Survival Evolved. Ark is basically nirvana for survival game fans, because what truly makes it special is the experience you create for yourself. You wake up on a mysterious island with absolutely nothing. Around you, dinosaurs, giant insects, and deadly creatures everywhere. In the first few hours, you're picking up stones and wood from the ground, crafting primitive tools, and building a tiny shelter just to survive. But the real game begins when you start taming dinosaurs. You feed a raptor until it becomes yours. Then you slowly work your way up, a triceratops for defense and harvesting, a pteranodon for flight, and eventually a T-Rex, a literal war machine. That sense of progression feels incredible. The base building system is deep. You can build stone fortresses, craft metal gear, set up electrical systems. You can easily spend dozens of hours just building. With the tribe system, you and your friends can create powerful communities, fight bosses, and unlock advanced technology. If you love survival games, you have to try Ark. Trust me, you're not escaping with less than 100 hours. Valheim. Inspired by Viking mythology, Valheim drops you into the mysterious 10th world. Its survival mechanics are unique. You don't die instantly from hunger, but eating food gives you health and stamina bonuses. Survival is about preparation, not punishment. Your early hours are spent in the meadows biome, gathering wood, mining stone, building your first cabin, crafting tools at a workbench. The progression system revolves around defeating bosses. After beating Eikthyr, you unlock the ability to mine ore. Then you move into the Black Forest, start mining copper and tin, and enter the Bronze Age. Each biome introduces new materials and dangers: iron in the swamp, silver in the mountains, black metal in the plains. The building system is physics-based and surprisingly deep. If you don't support your structures properly, they can collapse. You truly feel like a Viking, building ships, sailing across open seas, fighting massive creatures. And the atmosphere, especially the sunsets, is unforgettable. I didn't spend 200 hours in this game for nothing. The Long Dark. You're stranded alone in the frozen Canadian wilderness after a geomagnetic disaster. No electricity, just you and nature. The Long Dark is one of the most realistic survival experiences out there. You manage body temperature, calories, fatigue, and hydration. It's punishing, but in a grounded way. There are no zombies, just wolves, bears, blizzards, and the cold. The regions, Mystery Lake, Coastal Highway, Pleasant Valley, are interconnected and designed for slow exploration. Survival mode is a sandbox, where staying alive is your only goal. Difficulty settings range from Pilgrim, relaxed exploration, to Interloper, brutal and unforgiving. The story mode, Wintermute, offers a more narrative-driven experience. The atmosphere is incredible. During a snowstorm, when you're desperately searching for shelter, you genuinely feel helpless. Crafting is limited but meaningful. Long-term planning is essential. Misery. Games set in nuclear disaster zones always grab people's attention. Misery delivers one of the most brutal survival experiences I've played, and honestly, I had a lot of fun with it. You play as a mercenary operating in a secretive research environment, traveling into radioactive towns to investigate anomalies and mysterious artifacts. You scavenge through irradiated ruins, gather resources, and use what you find to upgrade your shelter, grow small crops, and craft better weapons and gear. At first, the world feels strange and rough. The visuals aren't designed to be flashy or beautiful. They're built to serve the atmosphere. And that atmosphere, it's heavy, oppressive, and incredibly immersive. It's mainly a single-player experience, but if you're into hardcore, realistic survival in a post-nuclear setting, this is the kind of game that can create unforgettable moments. Subnautica. You are the lone survivor of a crashed spaceship on an ocean planet. The early hours feel peaceful. You swim through shallow waters, catch fish, gather food and water, and build a small base, but you have no idea what awaits you deeper below. Using your scanner, you unlock blueprints and craft new equipment. As you descend further, the tone shifts. Dark caves, massive sea creatures, unknown dangers. You build vehicles like the Seamoth and Cyclops to explore deeper biomes, safe shallows, kelp forest, mushroom forest, blood kelp zone, and then there are creatures like the terrifying Reaper Leviathan. The story unfolds through radio signals, abandoned bases, and alien structures. Oxygen, pressure, and resource management add real tension. Base building is addictive, and exploration is unmatched. Below Zero is a standalone sequel that offers a different but equally strong experience. Subnautica remains one of my all-time favorites. Palworld. Palworld feels like Pokemon meets Ark, but with guns. You capture creatures called pals and put them to work in your base while trying to survive. Early early gameplay is classic survival, gathering resources, crafting tools, building shelter, but once you start capturing pals, the game changes completely. Different pals specialize in different tasks: mining, farming, crafting, building. The automation system is one of the most satisfying parts of the game. Your pals work while you explore. Combat is third person, combining firearms with pal abilities. Boss pals are challenging and rewarding to capture. There's co-op multiplayer, breeding systems, and a large tech tree that evolves from primitive tools to advanced weapons. It's constantly updated, and if you're looking for a survival game with a lighter, more colorful tone, Palworld might be perfect for you. Rust is probably the most brutal multiplayer survival game ever made. You start with nothing but a rock and a torch. Other players are everywhere, and most of them will kill you without hesitation. The early hours are chaotic. You gather resources, build a small base, and try to survive constant threats. Trust no one. Players might act friendly, then betray you seconds later. Base building is critical. Strong walls, traps, reinforced doors. But even then, raids can wipe out everything you've built overnight. Despite its cruelty, Rust is incredibly addictive. The weapon progression system goes from bows to assault rifles. You explore monuments like Launch Site, military tunnels, and Dome for high-tier loot, but you'll face both NPC enemies and real players. If you want a true, unforgiving survival experience where every decision matters, Rust delivers it in the harshest way possible. The Forest. You wake up after a plane crash in a mysterious forest. Your son has been kidnapped, and finding him is your main goal. But the island isn't empty. It's filled with cannibal tribes and terrifying mutant creatures. The forest blends survival and horror incredibly well. During the day, you gather resources, build your base, and prepare. But when night falls, everything changes. Your first encounters are genuinely creepy. The cannibals don't always attack right away. Sometimes they just watch you from a distance, slowly getting closer. The game's AI is surprisingly adaptive. Enemies react to what you build and can even test your defenses. Base defense is crucial. Walls, traps, spikes, reinforced gates. Crafting feels intuitive. You combine items directly in your inventory. And when you start exploring caves, the story gets deeper and darker. Abandoned labs, disturbing notes, horrifying mutations. It's even better in co-op. Surviving with a friend makes the experience both scarier and more fun. The building system is flexible too. Tree houses, fortresses, bridges. As for Sons of the Forest, the sequel, opinions are mixed. Some people love it, some prefer the original. I'd still say it's worth trying and deciding for yourself. Don't Starve Together. If Tim Burton made a survival game, it would probably look like this. Don't Starve Together is the co-op version of Don't Starve. And honestly, it's where the game truly shines. Each character has unique abilities. Wilson grows a beard for insulation. Willow is connected to fire. Wolfgang gets stronger when well fed, and so on. The first day feels simple. Gather grass, twigs, and wood. Build a campfire before night comes. Because if you're caught in complete darkness, Charlie will get you. Each season brings new challenges. Summer heat, freezing winters, heavy autumn rains, spring insanity. The sanity mechanic is a huge part of the game. When your sanity drops, you start hallucinating, and shadow creatures become very real threats. You build a base, but hound waves will attack periodically. Bosses like Deerclops, Dragonfly, and Bee Queen are tough and demand preparation. There's magic crafting, ancient ruins, caves with entirely different ecosystems, the Lunar Island, the Celestial Champion. The content feels almost endless. Every run feels different. You can play with up to 4 friends, and the chaos you experience together is unforgettable. Conan Exiles. You wake up in the desert, exiled and left to die in the brutal world of Conan the Barbarian. Conan Exiles is a harsh survival experience. In the early hours, you're desperately searching for water, crafting primitive tools, and trying to survive sandstorms, which can kill you if you're not prepared. One of the most unique systems is the Thrall system. You can capture NPCs and put them to work in your base. Some become blacksmiths, some archers, some fighters who defend your settlement. The base building is massive in scale. Giant castles, bridges, temples. There's even a god summoning system, where you can call down avatars of gods during PvP conflicts. The Purge system adds tension. Waves of enemies periodically attack your base. The map is large and diverse. Deserts, jungles, snowy mountains, volcanic regions. There are dungeons, world bosses, and multiple maps like the Exiled Lands and Isle of Sipta. Combat has weight to it. Dodging, blocking, stamina management. It's not fully Souls-like, but positioning matters. While many survival games feel better with friends, Conan can still be enjoyable solo if you like building and exploration. Raft. You wake up on a tiny raft in the middle of the ocean, nothing around you but water, and a shark constantly circling below. Raft is one of the most addictive ocean survival games out there. Using a hook, you collect floating debris, wood, plastic, leaves, and slowly expand your raft. At first it's simple. Build a purifier, cook food, survive, but as your raft grows, you can create multi-level floating bases. The shark keeps attacking your raft, so you'll need a spear to defend it. The real fun begins when you start exploring islands. You gather rare materials, uncover story clues, visit locations like the radio tower, large story islands, and underwater areas. Each major location reveals more about what happened to the world. The research table unlocks new technology, engines, advanced purifiers, crop plots. Co-op supports up to 8 players, and everyone can take on different roles: navigator, builder, defender, explorer. I won't spoil the final chapter, but it's worth experiencing yourself. 7 Days to Die. Imagine Minecraft mixed with The Walking Dead. That's basically 7 Days to Die. It's an open-world, voxel-based zombie survival game. During the day, zombies are slower, and you gather resources and reinforce your base. At night, they're faster and more aggressive. But the real challenge comes every 7th night, the Blood Moon Horde. Every 7 days, a massive wave of zombies attacks your base, and each horde gets stronger. Base building is the core of survival. Reinforced walls, traps, spikes, creative defenses. Because of the voxel system, everything can be destroyed and rebuilt. Looting is essential. You explore houses, hospitals, stores, factories. Each building has different loot and dangers. The skill tree adds RPG elements with perks for crafting, combat, and survival. The graphics may not impress everyone, but the atmosphere and tension during Horde Night are intense. Astroneer. If you're looking for a colorful, relaxing space survival game, Astroneer is perfect. You land on a planet and explore using oxygen tethers. Early gameplay revolves around gathering resin and compound, expanding your base, and experimenting with crafting. The terrain tool lets you reshape the planet, digging tunnels, building ramps, flattening land. Each planet offers different resources and secrets. You activate gateway chambers and eventually explore planetary cores. Automation is a big part of mid to late game. Auto arms, sensors, logic systems, railways. You can build rovers, buggies, hoverboards, and even travel between planets with a shuttle. There's no traditional combat, only environmental hazards like low oxygen or dangerous plants. It's much more about creativity and exploration. Co-op supports up to 4 players, and you can build massive projects together. Compared to the other survival games on this list, Astroneer is much more chill, perfect if you want survival mechanics without constant stress. Green Hell. You wake up in the Amazon rainforest as a lost anthropologist, and from the very first moment you realize this might be one of the most realistic survival games ever made. Your only advanced tool is a smartwatch that tracks your macronutrients, carbs, protein, fats, and hydration. And yes, all of them matter. You can't just eat anything and survive. Injuries are incredibly detailed. Leeches, rashes, infected wounds, worms under your skin. Snake bites, each one requires a different treatment. You literally inspect your own body, remove maggots, apply bandages, craft proper medicine from rainforest plants. Mental health is just as important. Loneliness, fever, and hallucinations slowly start to affect you. The jungle feels alive, dense, overwhelming, and realistic. Some plants are edible, others are poisonous, and you learn the hard way. Hostile tribes patrol the forest, and stealth often becomes necessary. Building is grounded and practical. Leaf roofs, bamboo frames, fire pits. The story mode follows you searching for your missing wife, uncovering dark secrets along the way. Survival mode, on the other hand, is pure sandbox. How long can you last? The Spirits of Amazonia content adds more lore and even touches of supernatural themes. It's a game that not everyone loves, but in my opinion, it's seriously underrated and absolutely worth trying. Grounded. Imagine being shrunk down smaller than an ant in your own backyard. In Grounded, blades of grass feel like skyscrapers, and insects become terrifying giants. The early hours feel like a tutorial, basic tools, small shelters, but then the world opens up. Anthills, spiderwebs, the koi pond, hedge labs. Each area feels like its own biome. Aphids are harmless. Soldier ants are neutral and less provoked. Wolf spiders, pure nightmare fuel. Combat is third-person and surprisingly skill-based. Perfect blocks and parries matter a lot. Armor sets provide bonuses. Ant armor helps with hauling. Bee armor improves stamina and mobility. Base building is creative and flexible. You build with grass planks, weed stems, clay, and can create multi-level bases. Zip lines later make traversal much faster. The story progresses through Berg, lay quests, and hidden labs. You unlock mutations that act as passive bonuses. Co-op supports up to 4 players, sharing one base and progression. And if spiders are too much for you, there's an arachnophobia mode that makes them much less terrifying. Thoughtful design. Stranded Deep. After a plane crash in the Pacific Ocean, you find yourself stranded on a deserted island. Stranded Deep is island survival in its purest form. Each world is procedurally generated. Island layouts, resources, shipwrecks. The first day is critical. Find fresh water, gather coconuts, craft basic tools like a crude axe or spear. You build a raft and start island hopping. Every island has different resources: fibrous leaves, scrap metal, rocks. You loot containers, Explore wrecks and slowly expand your setup. Sharks roam the waters. They're not constantly aggressive, but they are a real threat. Spearfishing is essential for food. You can farm crops like potatoes and yucca, set up water stills, smokers, tanning racks. Eventually, you can even craft a gyrocopter to travel more easily. There are underwater boss encounters, like the megalodon, giant squid, and a massive moray eel. The story is minimal. Your goal is simply to escape the Pacific. It's mostly a solo-focused experience, with optional two-player co-op, if you want a slower, more grounded survival experience. Core Keeper. This is a great pick. You wake up underground, drawn toward a mysterious core. Core Keeper generates massive cave systems full of resources and secrets. You mine copper, tin, iron, upgrade your gear at crafting stations, and slowly expand your underground base. Combat is simple but satisfying. Melee, ranged, and magic builds are all viable. Bosses like Glurch, Gorm, and Ivy unlock new biomes and progression paths. There's farming, cooking, which gives powerful buffs, fishing, automation with conveyor belts and drills, rail systems, and massive base expansion potential. You can build huge multi-room underground settlements. Up to 8 players can share the same world and progression. Updates regularly add new biomes, bosses, and items. The pixel art is charming, the music relaxing, and the gameplay loop surprisingly addictive. It's cozy, but still deep. Icarus. In Icarus, you take on missions on a partially terraformed alien world. It's session-based survival. You select a mission, drop onto the planet in a pod, and complete objectives within a time limit, sometimes hours, sometimes days. In real time, you must return to orbit before the timer expires, or you risk losing your equipped gear. The planet is dangerous. Storms, wildlife, radiation zones, oxygen management matters in certain areas. The tech tree is huge, from primitive tools to advanced equipment. Workshop gear is persistent and can be brought into future missions. You can play solo, but it's much better with friends, up to 8 players. Missions vary: mining, hunting, construction, exploration. There's also an outpost mode that removes time limits and allows more relaxed, permanent base building. Designed by Dean Hall, known for DayZ, the game leans into realism. It's challenging, sometimes punishing, but generally fair. Planet Crafter. You're sent to a Mars-like planet with one goal: make it livable. Before I even explain it, I'll say this honestly. This might be my favorite game on this list, and I'm not exaggerating. Okay, maybe Ark is close. Planet Crafter is progression-focused survival. You start on a hostile, lifeless world with limited oxygen and scarce resources. You build habitat modules, storage, production units. You track a terraforming index: oxygen, heat, pressure, biomass. As the numbers rise, the planet visibly transforms. You unlock milestones: first rain, first lakes, first grass, first trees. The visual evolution is incredibly satisfying. You explore wrecks, discover lore hints, find rare resources like iridium, uranium, superalloys. You craft vehicles, jetpacks, rovers, making exploration easier. Automation systems with drones simplify resource management in the late game. The game is primarily single-player, but now also supports optional co-op. Watching a dead planet slowly become alive because of your actions is one of the most satisfying progression systems in any survival game. Honestly, one of the most underrated survival games ever made. Astrometica. After an unexpected explosion on a mining space station, you wake up drifting through deep space in an escape pod. In Astrometica, survival means constant exploration. You travel through asteroid belts, investigate mysterious cosmic anomalies, dock at abandoned stations, and gather resources across space. You collect materials to upgrade your equipment and expand your base. Base building is a major focus and surprisingly satisfying. The game is still relatively new and evolving, but if you're looking for a space-themed survival experience with exploration at its core, this one is worth keeping an eye on.